we begin in the little bit of last time we saw Deepa Singh. He had just gone to rescue uh, his friend Otto from, you know, himself. Hard to say, his twin, and he was trying to drag him to safety. What's Deepa thinking? Like, why is he so eager to get his friend Otto away from this person who looks like him, who he clearly has a deep relationship with? What's going through his mind?
It's, I mean, the main reason he's so invested in wanting to save Otto in this one moment is because Otto's so important to him. He was one of, if not the first friend he made when he came to India, and through like the blades becoming the blade of the Yanta, like it's been so. I think he has siblings, but like he's never felt this close to someone. So like when like he even said like we're family, and like the blood you choose or the family you choose, he was speaking about how Otto is even beyond a brother. And so watching him going through the anguish, it's tearing Deepa apart. So like and he doesn't want Deepa to go through something when he knows like something's wrong, so he doesn't want to let Otto go through that.
Yeah,
and like
he could.
be torn apart as well.
Yeah, you could tell that there's like anguish in this person as he's kind of like torn. And maybe you feel that, like kind of like being torn between two positions, and you don't know what to do as you're dragging him away. As I mentioned before, this creature that looks like Otto is his brother. Hard to say. As like it's angry, it's trying to call him away. But what I wasn't able to describe is how much he's looking at you whenever you're dragging his brother away. This being, this twin, is looking at you with real venom in his eyes. Like you've never seen a human eye like look at you so venomously, like so much anger, as if you're taking something from it. Like look, you could see the sudden change. Look at his brother looking very apologetic, very earnest and sorry, and then looks at you with so much venom and hate, as if you're doing this, as if you're getting in the way. And as he's like turning and going, and he's been pulled away, he not says anything to you. As he does that weird bending motion, he's like turning and turning to his goat motion. His hand like reaches out to you, like not like in a welcoming gesture, but like in an accusatory manner. And you just hear his voice. Like you've heard Tokum's voice in your head sometimes, as he's like spoken to you when you were in a Yanta. This is not like, oh, we've established a channel. This is like an invasion, like an invasion violation in your mind, as this is like, it's like, you do not belong to getting between me and my family, my blood. Who do you think you are?
I wouldn't say anything because like I'm shook in that moment, like when he's like just like mentioning how I'm not like I don't belong. That's like with what you said to Otto. That almost adds that fire to, because like this isn't like right now he's wanting to help, but in that moment he's angry because it's hurting him as well now in that one moment. But like I try and shake it off and just keep trying to keep Otto away.
Yeah. As you are trying to shake that off, he's doing this incredible leap that's making him go high and high above a building. And like it's everyone, it was bizarre, but for you it's stranger because as he's leaping off, it looks like everyone else is rising as well. Everyone else is leaping to these great heights. And then you realize, no one else is leaping. You're falling. It's like the ground's giving way beneath you, but it's not like the tunnel. It's like when you were falling into that ravine deep before when the worm was there. It's like everything's you're the only one who's falling, and like you're losing touch with the others as you're slowly going into this darkness, into this as you're just reaching out, everything's falling away from you, and no one seems to be noticing that you're descending further down from this present. And again, the voice calls out like, "You will never escape this. You do not belong anywhere." As you are falling and falling, I'm going to need you to give me a roll, as this is clearly something's happened to you. He's violated your mind. This is not like Tokum's gentle This isn't like a very kind illusion that you were able to see with Emperor Ashoka. This is something darker. This is a curse. This is a twisting of your mind. How would you defend against this?
I would try forcefully. Try just instantly, just try push, almost as if I'm trying to like when you get an intrusive thought, almost is trying to just push it out immediately.
Yeah, your main thing is pushing his voice away.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, give me a roll.
I got a 1.
Okay. The difficult. Yeah. Are you spending any fate points? Because the difficulty is 3.
Yeah, I will.
All right. What aspect are you invoking? What's giving you the strength to fight on?
The fan family aspect of how these people by pushing, by invading me, almost so I feel almost like I'm being pushed in on myself, even as I'm falling physically. Mentally I'm being pushed in, but I've done so much to push out and become myself in these few days because of these people. I want to push myself out again, so I can't be away from my friends anymore, my family.
You see them as they're even going away from you as you're falling. You're just no, you're trying these people give you strength to kind of push beyond this kind of feeling that you've ever felt before, and you're able to rise a little bit, but the pressure is so strong that you're not falling into whatever would have been down below, the depths of despair, of hell itself, nothingness. You don't know, but you're not falling there. But instead the world shifts again. World changes as you're not there. You are elsewhere. You are deep, and you felt like even though you survived this wasn't a victory. You're still in this effect, as you can kind of hear, school bell rings as this is going on. Older times, maybe earlier this year, back when you were in good, jolly old England. As you can just what was your school like, as you were surrounded by mostly English, I presume, white boys, or maybe you were co-ed. What was your school like?
It was at Coventry University. Dipa would have probably been studying something artsy, something fine arts, and it'd be very much looked down upon because a lot of fine art students were there was a lot of focus on the Renaissance and more realistic and more just Western art. And I was just vying for something new, and also felt me. So this was me just trying to step in to learn about traditional Indian art. But being surrounded by this and trying to ask if tutors would want to focus on other cultures, I would get a lot of resentment or get annoyed looks as I'm the one always asking questions by the other students.
You know that dream you might sometimes have when you're in class and there's a homework due and you haven't done it? You feel like that as you're just in class again, in your and university, with these other art students, and you look around. None of the other ones look like you. None of the other ones, everyone else, as they're describing fine Renaissance art, this is how the great Italians would do it. This is how the great French artists would do it. And it's they find something that resonates with yourself. Now, the important thing is finding art that becomes you, that speaks to who you are, and something that represents something civilized and sophisticated. Yes, Mr. David?
Dipa, sir. This doesn't resonate with me.
What? Oh, I see. And just comes across and he says, oh, you think, well, what would resonate with you? Would you prefer, what is it? Just some colors splashed onto your art as if it was one of your holy celebrations? We aren't that fond. We want to have some actual structure. And you could feel the demeaning coming from this older professor and the sniggering of the other. Well, mostly it's sniggering. A lot of otherwise it's just confusion from these other students. Even the ones who aren't laughing at you, they don't understand you as this professor's looking down at you. What artist would you want to say, would you say speaks to you more?
I would look down because I wouldn't have a name. I wouldn't have any specific to share. I don't know, sir.
No, that is what you are here for, to learn. We are trying to sophisticate you, teach you what is actually proper. We are trying to raise you up. You are very fortunate to be here. You should be grateful that you are here and not somewhere else someone might expect you. And just like other kid, even the ones who are laughing, they don't know why they're laughing. They don't realize how cruel this teacher is being. How, intentionally or otherwise, this is horrific what this person is saying to you, as he's just like looking down. Yes.
I would then just almost in at myself. I don't want to be here. I would want to be somewhere else.
Where do you want to be?
Home. But not. But not here.
The bell rings, and just like that, the dream kind of shifts. It's like that part where you don't remember leaving and traveling, but you go and you arrive home. Well, a home. You're home from university. You're home from university, as your parents are waiting for you. What do your parents look like?
I mean, they're fairly, I would say traditional, but like my mom's in that, like she's in that stage where she's wanting to be more like have more Western fashion influence, and my dad would be in a similar vein, but like it's a lot more like suits and just fine tailored clothing.
Are they first generation immigrants or second?
Yeah, first. Yeah,
first generation. So your mum is there. She's tried for the last year or so. She started wearing jeans, which is a very big change for her, and she's like trying to style them and just like trying to talk to your father about like trying to get his attention. He's not really paying attention. She's like, oh, that's very nice, dear. And he's like reading. He's got a pipe. Even though it's early morning, as he's looking through the newspaper and it's like, these immigrants, look at them just trying to just ruin everything, trying to make things more difficult. And he's like looking down with complete no irony in his voice. And he's like, son, what are you doing back so early from school?
I left.
He looks confused. Like, well, obviously, if you left, otherwise you wouldn't be here. What do you? But so, how long are you here for?
Not long.
Oh,
I look very tired and very. My eyes would probably be very red in this moment, like almost a mix of like having just, like pushed back tears, but then also like I am also shaking and just having heard the end of the sentence that my dad had said.
Come. Let me get you some. And she's like, made some roast. She's got some roast potatoes. She's got some food. All she's been here for your entire life, well, or almost. And she's learned English cooking, and that's mostly what she does. She just cooks in this like very much Sunday roast kind of like style, and she's got that ready. She's provided far too much grease for your father's portion. Stuff that we don't realize so much later how unhealthy it is. For your father. And they're just like looking at you. Your dad's like he's trying to figure out what you mean when you say you've left. While your mom only realizes you're upset. He doesn't realize you're upset. You can see just like he's crumpling up the newspaper as he's doing that, and she doesn't quite realize what's happening.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Deepu? What's up? What's happening?
I would look at the plate of food, and like I'd almost envision like the paintings that I would have seen in class, with the lack of color and just the very drab, very plain and boring browns, and just very dark, moody tones. And I would go to push the plate off the table. And like I'd want to envision it splashing and like just bursting into various bits of color.
Yeah, there's like there's a crash of the glass plate. Not the glass plate. The plate crashes down, and the color just like the food spreads, and it's kind of like forms different. It's different, like impression, like as you're like kind of seeing what you want to see from there. You can see it does seem to brighten up. The color is there in the mess, and your parents are horrified. What are you doing?
I don't like being a chameleon.
A chameleon? What in the world are you talking about? Son, what is this? You're wasting food? You're wasting my education because you don't want to be a chameleon? What are you? And he's just like standing up, like, we worked hard. We gave so much to bring you here. And all you have to do is just learn, like we learned. You had it easier to start off with here. Why can you not just adapt? Why is this so difficult for you?
Because I didn't want to give up like you.
Give up.
But you gave that choice. We could be so much more, but you want to be just one thing. And you hide behind that newspaper. You hide behind those suits to try be this new thing, but that shame that you hold of what you were, it's you gave up too easily.
There is a. Has your father ever hit you?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. So it's big, immigrant parent, like slap as it's happening. This horrifying thing. I chose my identity. I chose what I wanted to become. My suit is my armor to protect against a world that is cruel. I know what the real world is. You don't understand what the world is. You don't even know who you want to be. And he just like gets up. He's like, and he like gets away as your mother's trying to fess, but her voice is like very light. It's ineffectual offering. And she's like, oh, and nothing really sticking.
Like it's just like, I'm hearing white noise.
Yeah, her voice is white noise to you as you are down there in your smashed food on the floor. Where did you go after that?
I would have probably just taken all my stuff and or like what I could take with me. And then the initial trip wasn't immediately to the airport, but I just wanted to I walked as far as I could walk before I was exhausted, and it's almost like I just walked and didn't stop myself. It was just as far as I could see how far I could go, and I would just keep going into a random direction, and it's like I would eventually wind up at the airport and just seeing there was a flight to India.
Yeah,
and that's
as you're like getting there on that way to India, you see the person at the flight desk. It's like, oh yes, we do have a flight to India, but it's going to be something of a bumpy journey. And you see the person at the desk puts it down, and it is that face that looks so much like Otto, but it's not. And he's just like looking at you with this like smile. He's got this little badge which has got the leaves and the dots. It's like, the journey ahead is quite difficult for you. Really, it'd be a lot easier if you just went back. And they have the tickets there, but they're not giving it to you with this menacing smile. It's like, this is not necessarily for you. You can go back. You can try and make amends. I'm sure your family is worried. After all, your father could survive. Do you really think you can discover what you are meant to be in that place? Do you really think you fit in there?
I don't know. I would say shakingly. But then I'd look up. I want to know.
Right.
I want to, and I need to.
Give me a roll to try and push past him as he's trying to stop your memories from continuing. And this could be whatever you think is appropriate. It could be flashy for big statement. It could be forceful, like, no, I want to move ahead. Let me know what you think.
I think it'd be forceful again. It's me trying to push past my own
Sure.
comfort zone.
That makes sense.
I got 0, so I'd like to spend another fate point if I can.
What aspect do you want to invoke here?
Like do I my normal memories still exist?
You can reach for them.
Stream state?
You can reach for them, yeah. Especially if they're an aspect, they are very hard memories to lose.
I would look up at the as I'm trying to force myself through. I would look up at the screen with the various flight information, and I would see my Yanta, and I would see the landscapes we ran through, and I would see what the inside of our the lair with all the Yantas were found in, and that would almost that would make me remember what it felt like being inside the Yanta and how much I needed that.
All right.
And how much I want that now.
Yeah, definitely. You can invoke that. Do you want to spend a point to add 2 or to reroll?
I'll spend to get +2.
All right. You got that +2. And you do kind of see that image of the Yanta. And you can see the light of the tickets as they kind of change from the airline you were going to take, the BA tickets or whatever they were going to be, kind of change as you can see Yanta Airlines. And you're able to rip your ticket from him, but his hand kind of grabs onto yours and cuts it, and he's just says you will not. It says yes, just like your father, you're hiding in a suit. And it's just these gentle words as you go away, and just the image changes, but that leaves an impression. Just take a minor consequence, which is this am I so different? So yeah, that's kind of stuck. And even though this is a dream, you can see the marks in your hand, and you can sort of smell your father's tobacco on your fingers, even though you never touched the pipe. You can kind of smell that. But you're in the air. You're traveling in the plane, which doesn't feel like a plane anymore. You feel it is the machine. You are in the Yanta, this proud, powerful machine. You feel this connection, this being that never changed when you became part of it. It looks almost identical to how it was when you found it, just with a shine and a cleanliness than it was before, and you resonate with it. It's not like you're speaking to something. It's you're speaking sort of to you, and you're there, and you just have that question: where do you want to go?
Do I still see the surrounding of England, or
you're kind of it's you've gotten into you walked onto a plane that turned into the Yanta, and so you're you can see, you saw England in the windows, but then the window changed. Do you still see England? Do you see yourself I got to get out of England, Yanta style?
Yeah, I see myself in England still, but I look at the channel between France and England, and I think I can jump that, and I can run from there to India if I wanted to.
Yeah, you take the big steps. Has Dipa ever heard the story of Hanuman from the Ramayana?
He would have,
yeah. He knows the story of Hanuman taking the jump and then jumping higher. And as he jumped higher, he would grow bigger and bigger until he could jump across the oceans all the way to Lanka. And he's able to do that with this incredible jump, this dreamlike jump, as he extends further and further all the way, crossing France, crossing Germany, crossing beyond and on in this incredible flight all the way, as you can see, as he's going towards India. Is that correct? You're heading towards India. However, there is something stopping you. Rising out of the water, you see a large sea serpent has arisen to try and get in your way. But its eyes on the serpent resembles that of Otto's twin. And it says that as this figure is trying to stop you mid-flight. And it says that you will not make it. You will not take. There is no home for you there. You will die in searching for your home. Never have found it. you do not belong. And it's trying to stop you mid-flight. What do you want to do? You can do anything your Yanta can do, because you are dreaming you're in the Yanta. So what do you want to do?
I would imagine stopping. Like almost like I'd grab onto the ground and like, or like a mountain, like as I'm passing by, so like
Sure.
Anchor myself and like skid around that, and then just like level myself with the creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I won't get there because I'm already home.
And it lunges, and it's lunging towards you. It's trying to like, fight you as you've like made this proclamation. Do you do anything with it? Do you accompany it with thunder? Do you try and fight this thing away? Do you cow it? Do you sneak around it? Are you just trying to move past it quickly? What are you trying to do?
Would I be able to pull out my lightning sword out of my forearm, and then as I'm running, try to slash at it on and try to slice his neck off?
As long as you describe it in a cool way, which you did, then yes. Yeah. So you're going to try and slice it off. Yeah, definitely you can do that. You get if you're using Yanta stuff, you get the +2. So definitely that's fine. Whatever approach you think is appropriate for slicing off serpent's heads.
I think flashy. Yeah, I'm gonna go flashy.
Flashy, yeah. Make the roll.
That's 3.
That's a low roll. Remember, you can spend a consequence to give yourself a bonus. For example, if you spend a 4 consequence, you would gain +4 to this roll.
How would that work? So is it like
you take a major consequence, which is the 4 stress. You have mild, major, and severe. Your mild's already gone. You can't use that. If you could add a +2. But if you use the major, you gain +4 to this roll, but you get a major consequence, which are difficult to lose. Something which would be like, my spirit is drained, because this is using a lot of your internal reserves to kind of fight this dreamlike essence.
Yeah, I would like to take the consequence and almost think to myself, why am I running?
Yeah.
As I'm still trying to slice at the head.
Yeah. Okay. What was your total now with the +4?
+4, it becomes 7.
It is. You move in fast. This thing tries to stop you. Try to use your doubt against you, but it's not enough. And like the pen that couldn't draw on beforehand, your weapon slices through, and its blood and the lightning forms this beautiful pattern, this beautiful artistry through the sky as you get past the serpent.
When it cuts, would I be able to see that image again of the splashes of color through the spiders?
The blood, the water, the lightning, it's all kinds of color just refracting and appearing. Like you never could have imagined it before. And you are making this art. You are defining the color.
My sword is my brush, and your blood will be its ink.
It screams, even though its neck has been cut off, as you continue on this journey, still in this constant flight, this jump that does not end until you arrive. You reach. Where in India does your Yanta land?
Where were we staying?
You mean? Do you mean when you were in Bihar, or do you mean? Oh,
with the group.
You were at the boarding house.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boarding house is is right outside the capital. So yeah, that is where you guys would, where you spent most of your time when you first moved in.
Mm-hmm.
You found this boarding house. You land there. Normally, if you would have landed, there would have been a shaking of the earth and dust. But almost like Dream, you just land softly, without causing much disruption, as you come into this new land, this new world. As you can see, there are all kinds of people around here, different kinds than there were before, very different. Many of them looking like you, and yet there's something. You're not really feel like you're part of that. They look like you, but they don't talk like you. They don't understand most of your references.
Yeah. They don't dress like me. They don't walk like me. They don't.
No.
This is just like there.
Their food is a war crime against your digestive system.
I can imagine it wreak absolute havoc on me.
Yeah. Where do you go? Do you leave the Yanta? Do you walk among them?
I would leave, but like it's almost like I don't want. Like if I let go, it feels like if I let go, I'll let go forever. Yeah. Is what I imagine it feels like in that moment.
You stand above them. Yeah, go.
And yeah, I look down and I look at my hands, and then I just look to the east for a second. No, sorry, the west. I look to the west, and I feel like I have to leave.
Where in the west are you looking? Where in the west are you trying to go?
Oh no, this is me just looking generally to the west.
Oh, sure.
In the direction of England.
Where?
But I would be deciding to leave my Yanta, because if I don't try,
sure,
I won't.
I thought you were looking to the west because Delhi is to the west of Bihar. I didn't know if you were looking towards the UK or to Delhi. I
mean, like it's fairly general. Like I'm just like
sure.
I would my gaze, because it's closer. I imagine I might see that, but like it's very much like it's almost like I feel like in the stream, I'm looking at like just a globe of the Earth, and I just see like the generalized like location of Delhi and like a few buildings that like I recognize, and then when I look in the direction of England, I could see just a vague idea of it, but I'd also see just the tiny little like skyline that like would represent Baha.
Yeah.
But I would leave the Yanta.
You exit the Yanta and like you come out like a pyramid hand, and you can like feel it like softly like touch your shoulder, and not like to hold you back, but like to give you like confidence, patting, like you got this, buddy, you got this, me.
I would smile. I would like have very silent tears trickling down.
You glance. Do you glance back at the Yanta, or do you just keep going forward?
Yeah, no, I would look back.
The color that appeared when you were in the surf, when you were fighting the blood, when you had the lightning, it's like some of it splashed across the Yanta's face, so it too looks like it's crying, but tears of color rather than tears of sadness.
Break my heart, man.
That was the goal.
No, I did. I said, don't break my heart, break theirs. I would just wipe my tears and like look back forward and then continue making my way.
It's a long way. It's a long way to Delhi. It's like just going that long journey. What would feel like hours as you're just like stretching and stretching. What are you hoping to find there?
Just a place to, like another place to belong. I get it. It's what like I want what the Yanta gives me, but like where I don't have, like where like I can still like just walk the streets and not be in a big mech. I can like be low profile if I wanted to be. And like as like I'm thinking, just like how like what do I want in Delhi? Why am I going there? I would see visions of Garima, Alicia, Rajiv, and Otto, and even Nithya, and Tolkien as well.
Don't forget me.
I couldn't.
Yeah, you're there as you like get there, and it's just like what feels like hours. You do arrive at Delhi somehow in hours, and yet moments you're there. Shoes worn from the journey. As you walked, and you could just see all these like figures moving about Delhi, these different colors, these different faces. This is a very cosmopolitan town as you're doing there. The high elites and the young locals, for foreigners, people from all across India here as well, and you're just like moving and looking. But as you're like going through this crowd, trying to make it to where you're looking for your friends, your found family, there's like a few people that are like kind of standing in front. The people traffic is huge as they're just like getting in your way.
I would try pushing through them and just like squeezing through with I would just try pushing through as much as I can.
Oh, Sonny, did they not teach you any manners in that school of yours? And you're just like and you see the person there, just like dressed in like a sari pulled over their face. They turn, and it is the twin. And then another one says like, "Oh, they don't teach him anything, they don't teach him anything anymore." And you see another person, which is also the twin, and it turns out everyone in this crowd, everyone who's in this city, they are all there. They all have this clasp of these leaf with the 3 dots on them, and they all wear the face of the twin. All of them looking at you, and they say, as you realize this isn't just a coincidence. They're all looking at you. They're clogging the way, but they're not pushing you or anything. As you just realize, like everyone in you just looking at you like, you think you can trust anybody, but no, you don't know. You don't know how far we are. We are everywhere. You cannot trust anyone but yourself. As they're just, these voices are mocking as this is happening. And like, trying to get in your way. They're making these statements. But what are you doing?
I would still try pushing through.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm pushing through, I would say I can trust who I want to trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I've chosen who I want to trust.
Mm-hmm. Are you looking for your friends? Are you calling out to your friends? Are you just...
Yeah, I'd be calling
out
these as much as I want.
Sure. Give me flashy if you're like calling out for them, or give me like clever or careful if you're like looking for them.
I'm going to... I'd say I'd do clever, like I'm looking for a vantage point, but I got 0.
Yeah. You like move, you try and get to a higher point, and you see them. You get a vantage point of the train station, and you're able to like get closer to them. You find a way through the crowd. As you get to them, they're in that spot where you left them. They're like looking. They're kind of like frozen in that place where they were before, like turning to like look where that guy had gone, where he like looked up, and you come up behind them. Which of them do you approach first? Garima, Otto, Tokum's not there. Do you want to approach?
It would be Otto.
Yeah. You approach Otto. And he turns around. You see, just as like he's like smiling, and you see it's Otto's face. But there's like a bit of there's like a smirk to it. It's like, where have you been?
It doesn't matter. And I would go to hug him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I I get the chance, I would also look to Rajiv, and then I would just say, "Uncle."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go into the hug, and like Rajiv just is like hasn't turned around. He's still like got his weapon. He's like looking close to he says like deep. It says like, Dipa, don't worry. Everything is going to be okay. And then he turns around, and then you see his face. It's not his face. It's the twin's face. And then you realize the reason why Otto's face didn't look normal was it wasn't his face either. And as you wonder that, you suddenly feel the person who's hugging you, something sharp going into your side. The wicked knife that you saw all of them were wielding is like going hard into your, painfully into your side. You could just hear him whispering like, "You can't trust anyone but yourself." And like everyone turns around. Garima's face has changed. Alicia's face has changed. All of them, their faces look like the twin who's brought you in here. Give me a roll to, resist being stabbed.
Mm-hmm. Could I have it be sneaky? Like I'm also like trying to like it's almost like instant when I feel the prick of the knife. I would instantly like try to swat it away or like move.
That feels like quick. Like that's your reaction, and that feels more like quick to me. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. I got 2.
Cool. You using any powers? Or you spending any fate points or anything?
I would almost like to. I would like to use like a thunder wave to try to push them back, or like try to like shock them.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Let's give that a go. We'll first do the quick roll to like defend against being stabbed, and then we'll try and do the push away. So roll to avoid being stabbed.
I got a 2 on that one. Was that the quick? That was 2.
That was quick. All right. Nice. And it doesn't penetrate fully, but it's like a nasty gash. Take 1 stress. As they're all kind of like surrounding you, do the thunder wave.
Yeah, I'd like to reach up, and that would be flashy.
Go for it. And you get the +2.
It's only 1.
Even with the +2?
Even with the +2.
Thunder wave comes down, and they skid back a little bit, but then they like put their arms down. They're not even using their powers as they stop. And they get towards you.
Would I like grab at like where I got cut?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be covered with my. It'd be like I'd like to envision it's the same blood as the serpents earlier. I would try to like use like as a shock came through my hand. I would like to pull out my Vajra and make it a lightning sword, the same way I would with my Yanta. But I'd imagine it wouldn't look as powerful as it normally would, being having done a 1.
No, it's not as powerful. But
I would like to imagine it's white, but like with my blood on the hill, like that like would trickle into place on the Vajra to like give the that like iridescent chromatic visual like it did when I splattered the blood across the sky.
Are we initiating a transformation sequence here? Totally up to you. We can edit this out.
Yes, I would like to.
Okay. How many fate points do you have left?
I have 1.
Okay. You can spend a fate point to initiate transformation sequence and just get much better at this.
I would like to. I'd imagine it's almost like I'm taking out a key when I pull out my Vajra and the sword, and like from there, like it like spark upwards throughout my body.
What does it look like when you transform?
It's almost like it's a mix of a few things. Like as like initial like white, just light takes over my body, and like I spark from time to time as like it's forming. And it starts solidifying into like bits of armor, creating a mask similar to a like ninja's mask, but like it's got very distinct floral patterns across it that like are these splatters of the color that like have been coming from that have been dripping like my blood, almost as if like the like my hand prints have made these flower shapes. And it's almost like there's also like it also starts forming like a chameleon skin when it's becoming armor, but then it stops and then it goes back to, then it becomes a white like armor, and there'd be like a lot of flowy fabric pulling out of these bits of armor on the like a mantle, shoulder blades, gauntlets, and chest pieces, and these really cool boots to create a very elegant mix of like a sari and also a knight's armor.
Yeah, you assume this brand new form, shocking, like surprising everyone, as they're like looking surprised at you making this transformation. I think, what is? They all say in one voice, "What is this? What is this strange form?"
This is a blade of the Yanta.
We will tear. This is nothing more than a suit to hide who you are. You are nothing. We will peel this aside and burn tear the fabrics. And they look like they are all going to start charging. While you're in the suit, you get a +2 to basically anything, in addition to any other +2s you would like get. So, yeah, enjoy that.
I shall. When they make comments about like it being this armor won't do anything, I would then make a comment. This is no armor.
Oh, snap!
Yeah, it's not as cool as I thought it would be. But like the symbolism's there, all the metaphors there. It's spicy. It's what it is. Just like the food that's been destroying me.
Exactly, and like you'll be destroying them. Yeah, exactly. How are you going to try and destroy these guys?
I would like to do a little swirly attack, like with my sword, as like I spin around and try to create like a whip. Or not a whip, but like a like I'm going so fast and just reaching out, trying to slice all of them in half at the waist as I spin around.
Okay. I'd like to offer you a fate point to give you a -2 because they still look like your friends, so you kind of hesitate a little bit. So your effect is not as great as it would be otherwise. Do you accept the fate point?
I'd imagine. Yeah. I imagine my lightning would almost like the blade would waver and spark aggressively, as almost as if it's reluctant to do anything.
Yeah. Make the roll. You get a +2 from Yanta. You get a +2 because you're using lightning stuff, and a -2 because of your fate points. You're rolling +2 whatever approach you want to do.
It's would have been 9. With the -2, it becomes 7.
Damn. So yeah, with a strong 7, even with your holding back, like the lightning's going in, shocking them, and sending them flying, sending them far, until there's like none of these. They like land against the wall and they shatter into glass. They shatter, they fall apart. One shatters into glass, much like the plate that you drop down. Another one falls apart into just color and ink as it just like falls down, like the ink from your studies. Another one disrupts and turns into sea foam, much like the waters you crossed to get here. Other ones just like start sizzling, and you can like smell the coming off them as the smell of like the new spices you sniff, and you feel like all of them are just like fragments of your journey, things you had to overcome to like get here. And you can just hear this like the world start to shake all around you. It's just like, no, this is not some learning experience for you. This is not to for you to go stronger. This is not how your story ends, Yanta. Your story ends, and you just like feel the ground shake and so like comes together and it forms into this large twisted figure, this like strange amalgamation of man and beast with these backward legs, this like twisted long horns that go forward back, much like in school you may have learned how the devil would look with these devilish horns and hooved feet, like towering over you, like dark and black. It's like, you will not survive. You will not survive this. And yeah, as he's like, you will die. Yanta, as this like huge hand comes down, you narrowly avoiding it because you fast.
Would I have been able to jump upwards? Like I'm like in between the fingers. Like this was like my initial instinct before the scene appeared. I was going to jump up, try to attack Otto's brother as they leapt upwards. But like as this big creature kind of like started leveling, I would like imagine I'd jump through the fingers.
Yeah. Sure, that's fine with me. Just remember, as you are in human size, you can't do a lot of damage to a kaiju-sized creature. You can like create advantages, make things annoying, do that, but you cannot hurt it unless you are mecha-sized. But you can jump through the fingers and irritate it if that's what you want to do.
I would, yeah. Okay,
great. I guess what would be a good role for like getting through the fingers? I guess quick or flashy?
Unless you think it's sneaky, because that's my best one.
I mean, like if you want to say like he snaps it down, he thinks he's got you, but actually you're by his elbow. Yeah.
I'd like to do it.
Go for it. Remember, you get a plus.
Oh, I got the +2 from the Yanta. Is it +2 from the? No, it'd just be +2 from the. So that'd be 1. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's very disappointing from last.
You go up, and it's nerve-wracking how much that got to you. Even if it didn't get you the pressure of the hit, as you climb up and avoid that, it is not great. You're gonna take
I'm still shaking from.
You're taking a 3-point stress hit. So yeah. What have you got left?
I have. How do the 3-point stress hits work?
So you should have 3 stress boxes, a 1, a 2, and a 3. So you should take the third one.
Okay.
So you should still have the second one empty.
Yeah, the second one.
And the severe consequence. Is that correct?
That's severe. I should have a severe one now.
No. That should be empty. That should be blank.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, for on this sheet, the consequences are I would have a -2 and moderate, but I don't have a severe one yet.
Yeah, correct. Okay, good. Audio is back. Great. I should not look away from the screen. Okay, everything else is fine. Great.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'd imagine while everything's happening, Dipa is shaken from just although the attack was really powerful and just stunning, it's almost too much. Because that still is even if it's not them, it still feels like them.
Yeah.
And again, recalling the journey through these little representations, that's caused me to be a lot more shaken and just have struggled to evade the giant hand.
Yeah. But yeah, you took a nasty stress hit, but you were able to sneak away. It doesn't quite know where you are on its body, if that's where you want to be.
I would like to, while being up here, would I be able to see if I can find where my Yanta is?
Your Yanta is always with you. You feel it closer than ever before, even if you can't see it. All you have to do is, summon it. Because we are in dream logic right now.
Yeah, true.
Nightmare logic, but you're kind of taking control of this.
I would like to leap off the giant devil amalgamation and become my Yanta.
Yeah. You call the Yanta, and it doesn't even arrive and you fall. It's you turn, your body extends, your things change, your mask shifts and forms, and you don't merge with the Yanta, you become the Yanta. And it almost feels like you have been the Yanta for a long time as you take this form, standing against this strange creature that stands opposite you. You think that this piece of junk from 1,000 years ago can stop me? Can stop us? We will destroy you and then we will destroy all your friends. Because you are nothing. You belong nowhere except the grave. And he's swinging, but you have the move. What do you want to do?
I would have liked to have evaded and then use lightning powered bruiser. The aspect.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. How are you going to lightning powered bruiser this guy?
I would, as a sidestep, I would just try to go in for a jab on the side and then just just pounding at the body, trying to push it down into the ground if I could.
Go for it. Make the roll. Make whichever roll you think that is, and add it too. Add +2.
I must say forceful. +2. I get 4.
Got a 4.
I thought it was -1, but that was the roll above.
Yeah, it's nasty. This guy's a tenacious fighter. You punch, but you manage to get good punches, and you electrify it.
Yeah, I'd imagine right now it's I'm not trying to be elegant. I would like to imagine when where if there was ever any blood, I would still have that visual of I'm using my body as like a medium to paint through the impact I'm dealing. But like I can imagine this isn't a clean fight one bit.
No, it's nasty. It's nasty both ways. As you're getting in, you're getting these punches in, you're hurting it, but it's trying to hurt you. It's not nice. As your entire focus is bringing this guy down to his knees, and like finally, this horrific fight. You are on top. You have the victory. You have victory in your grasp. You're able to destroy this like taunting image of this like twisted creature. Like finally, he says, "Is there anything you want to say to it as you're like standing, Victor, like standing over this thing?"
I'm trying to think of something cool to say. All I can think of is, "Oh, how dare you try to break into my home?" Is the only thing. Or how dare you try to invade into my home?
And like, he's trying to get words out, but he's like coughing up blood as you're like looming over it with the weapon.
Would I be able to try and like go to stab it in the heart with my lightning sword?
You move and you got the lightning sword. You're ready to stab it in the heart. You're ready to do that. You're like, DM, let me make this roll. Let me do it. Why are you stalling? Why are you stalling? And then suddenly he says like, "Master, please, my king." And as you're wondering, what is he saying? Suddenly you hear the voice like, "You could not, you called, you needed me." This voice that erupts, and then suddenly you hear that sound. You see it to your right, as you see the green portal from before, the one that you saw in the image, the twisting, turning image, and you see this figure step out. A large creation, still wreathed in this green light that makes it hard to make out, but it is strong, it is powerful. And around its back, you see a circle of hands holding hands, twirling behind it. This creature with a large, massive crown and a corrupted sword looks at you, takes its sword and just swings it at you. This nasty blade just goes in, and just like, even from its massive distance, you see this sounds like a, and then it's a massive sound, like being like a nuclear bomb went off in the distance, and then suddenly this wave of pressure comes in and just strikes you, sending you flying. I'm going to need a defending roll. Like, how are you avoiding this massive wave of energy?
I would like to imagine like I'm being clever in the idea, like I'm thinking that sound, I have light being through lightning, so I'm going to try and dodge it and be like, would that count as clever?
Like, how are you dodging sound? Did you say dodging
well,
sound?
Is it like, can I see like the slice?
Like the slice is like from a distance, and it's just like, you know, when a nuclear bomb comes off, all the dust and everything that's coming towards you, that's what's coming your way.
Okay. Would I be able to pick up the devil amalgamation and use it as like a meat shield?
Yeah, absolutely. That is clever or quick, up to you. Both fine.
Excellent. I got 3. Do I add my +2 from my Yanta?
Sure.
That's fine.
Great. The difficulty was 6. He takes a lot of it. So you take 1 stress. If your 1 stress is already filled, you go to the next biggest box that you have open. So that would be 2. It hits.
I have all my...
Oh, your stress is marked. That's fine. You're not knocked out. You're only knocked out if you've got nothing left to fill. And you're sent flying. You're by the train yard, so you like crash into some trains, and you're just like landing harshly. He is in bad shape. You have to let go as you like go flying, but you are like protected from the worst of this. And you hear the twin in this weird horned form. Master, I'm so sorry. And like, he just takes these like steps, these long steps, and his voice continues to boom. You claim to be a faithful servant. You wish to come and have me arrive, but you cannot stop one man. What? He's very strange. He's twisted in the head. He's close. He's become this machine. It's insanity. You don't understand. It's like, Do not tell me what I do not understand. And then looks up at you. Are you like hiding behind the trains, or are you like standing proud? What are you up to?
I would pull myself through the wreckage. I don't like. Would I still be able to hold on to the twin?
No, the twin's like a little bit away from you. You're not holding on to it, but you can be close to it.
Yeah. I'd like to tell him what do you mean, master? What do you mean he's a master? What?
Oh, you're only seeing the dream, his voice in our minds, and even that is overwhelming. He will rise. I will open the gateway for him. Whatever you do, it does not matter. He will arrive, and he will destroy all of your twisted humanity. He will rule as the king he is meant to be, and the Rakshasa Empire will rise again. Shut up. You failures do not get to speak. And he's just like, he's kneeling. All the pride that was there is gone in face of this like figure, and he's like looking at you. And I says like, what is your name? Who are you?
I am DeCe, and I am a blade of the Yanta, and I would launch myself like a rocket towards him. Or them, sorry.
You launch at this kingly figure, pulls out, his blade is in his hand, and like he's seemingly moving in slow motion, but somehow is able to keep up with your high speeds. And he says like, you wish to die a warrior's death. I accept. And he goes into slash. I'm going to need you to give me the mother of all attack rolls. Because this is it. This is your thing. Remember, you can use the consequence if you want, and gain a +6 to have a severe consequence.
I'm going to be quick with a severe consequence.
All right.
So that becomes 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10.
All right. He rolled a 7. Goes in. It is the blades meet. Your Vajra blade, just like the lightning sword, this lightning weapon like slashes against his, and there's lightning and thunder coming at thunder from your weapon, the eruption of sound from his, heat that's erupting from this figure, this radiation that's coming, that's sickening the land around you. You feel your body heat, like burn at his pressure, and you make him take a step. After what feels like a tear, you make him take a step back, and he is shocked. You can see it, like this, like looking down at you. You have forced him to take a step back, as he looks in shock at what has happened. He's like taking it, and as you make him take a step back and slash, you leave a wound. You leave a mark that you did this. What is this mark that you've left behind?
It would be a slash similar, like almost like a jagged, like a lightning bolt, like with various veins and strings off, as if like it's been like how like wood is like when you strike it when with a bolt of lightning or electricity. It'd be like that, but like it's either bleeding or like just has that chromatic spray of colors. And I would then say you don't get to invade my home.
Where did you leave it? On his neck, on his chest, on his face?
I'm gonna say on the neck. Actually, no, on the chest.
Yeah. There's like this mark on his chest where you like caused a crack in this armor and like just left this mark on it. It's not big, but he is a large figure. So it is like this painting that you have left with war and color and artistry and blood. You have left your mark. As he looks down, not the friendliness, the politeness is gone. He hisses at you with a forked tongue, and he says, "No one has hurt me like that for thousands of years. You are no king of men. You will be forgotten and gone." And he said, "Death to the blades of the Yant." And he like brings on his sword that burns with this power of the sun straight down on you. You can choose to defend, or you can choose to fail. You could choose to basically surrender out of this fight, let what he wants to do happen, but leave something for the other party, because you can't use fate points where you're going.
Yeah, would I be able to try and block it?
Yeah,
but then like my sword like gets sliced in half.
Yeah,
leaving a tiny bolt of lightning.
Yes, that is absolutely fine. I accept that. So, you block with your sword, blocks his with all of you, but your energy is drained as it shatters. The blade going down, falling, striking the ground like a lightning bolt as it strikes at you. And you feel this intense scream, this intense pain as everything that you were burns aside. And then all that's left, you feel this sense of emptiness as it's going. The world around you burns, your mind burning aside. This like sense of emptiness. And then a calling, this familiar place that's calling you home. As you feel everything vanish until you are nothing but the white light. As everything goes dormant. There is no more DeCe, there is no more Dipa Singh. All that is left is the unconscious white Yanta. And so ends the story of Dipa Singh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of this.
I cannot put into words how much this means to me and how honored I am to be part of this.
It was so good to have you. I wish you could have been here for the final episode.
I wish too.
Yes, I'm glad we basically had an episode for you.
Yeah, that is really cool. Like it's nice like having had that moment, because I think it will be very impactful, especially like with the little things I did say here and there, like to call back.
Yeah.
Uncle, I'm scared, to actually, I'm ready for that to break his heart.
Yeah.
If Tan doesn't cry, I'm a cry.